Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. The Champions League looms. It is Liverpool versus Bayern Munich, a place in the Champions League quarter-final up for grabs. I'm very, very pleased to welcome Amy, Kate and Marc Kenny from CopCon. We'll be talking a little bit about that later in the show. Ben, hi.
Hi.
You join me as well?
Yes.
In place of the probably criminally hungover Chris Pajak.
Yeah.
But less said about that, the better, really. Mate, how exciting is this? A straight shootout.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich for the Champions League.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's this is the games that we live for, I suppose. You know, the big games, and it's always nice. It's a bit of a distraction from the league, which, you know, it's been a bit more of a strenuous season in that sense of, you know, every game's a must win, and even though this isn't, you know, look, we'd all love to go through, but it's almost it's a nice example of a game where you can kind of just enjoy the football, and you know, it's not the implications of it. If we do go out, it's look, while first we'll be down about it for a few days, but it's not the end of the world given the context of the season.
I think you can spin it all kind of ways, but I think focusing on the here and now, Amy, because it's that, isn't it? It's just such a big game. Liverpool, Bayern Munich, European heavyweights. Winner takes all in this regard. And as Ben says there, it's a distraction. The Champions League has been a distraction for Liverpool fans for years, but it's normally to distract us from how shit we've been in the league.
No, that's
Whereas
true.
now it's there to distract us from the stress of a title challenge.
No, that's true. I mean, we're usually we look at Champions League like that's the end all, and this season it's kind of reversed. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of cool to see that now everybody, if you ask, would you rather have win Champions League? I mean, obviously you want to win both.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose one or the other, it's flip-flop now. It's we want to win league, we want to win league. So
this is
it's
a competition.
kind of different.
This is a competition we've struggled to get into a lot over the last decade, and now all of a sudden we're kind of being a bit like, oh, well, just a free hit.
We're almost not. It's not as big right now. I mean, now Wednesday it's going to be the biggest thing in the world. But I don't think we have this big. I don't think we're really putting much stress on ourselves as much, which is kind of good. Yeah. Because we're always so worried about, you know, how we're going to do, and I think we're going into it a lot more confident. Yeah. Because of the way we're playing in league and how we're doing.
I completely agree.
I think it's good for all, especially fans, and the stress that we're having.
Yeah. No, it is true. I mean, Marc, the European Cup has just been. It's been so central to Liverpool. It's so central to our identity as a football club and all these things. But I feel like this season, it is taking a little bit of a backseat because we've remembered, oh, hang on a second, yeah, we've won it 5 times. Yeah. We've won the league 18 times, you know, and the league is becoming the thing that really drives us again, and not in like some stupid way that it's been driving us for the last, you know, 20 years, 30 years without one. But, you know, we've remembered how you're supposed to go about doing it. And as I say, this is what this game is at the minute. No one's really talking about it. I don't think we want to get carried away. But look, if Liverpool can get through against Bayern Munich, Amy, Kate mentioned it, why would we not talk about winning both?
Yeah,
because
I was about to say that exact same thing. You know, everyone's talking about one or the other. We're in a prime position to go all the way in both. So, you know, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing that's going to get in the way potentially, Ben, is that we've been horrendous away from home in Europe so far in this competition.
We're talking about that.
Yeah, we did.
Absolutely. I mean, like, some of our worst performances of the season have come away in the Champions League. Look, it should go without saying it's something that will need to be rectified. But well, I say we could be shit and win with a last-minute penalty, and that would do the job for us. But I think for our sake, for our sanity, and for our chances, we could really do with picking it up in this game.
Yeah, we just a good performance. I mean, this is kind of one of the reasons that I'm confident going into this game, quietly confident maybe, although I'm saying this on a YouTube channel that a lot of people are going to watch. But we're not losing games, particularly since the turn of the year. I mean, we lost a few. We lost all 3 away from home in the group stage. But since we haven't lost now for 2 months, and all we do here is avoid defeat, and we're pretty much through. I mean, unless it's a 0-0, but a score draw takes us through. Yeah. We win, we obviously go through. So part of me's like, well, you know, bar the Burnley game, we're keeping clean sheets. We're not losing games. So I'm thinking, well, that actually gives me a load of confidence to think, well, actually, we're going to go into this game confident that we can win. But, you know, it's again, it's just don't lose the game. You know, we've had some really tough away trips over the last few weeks. You know, away at Everton, away at Man United, where Klopp will set the team up, just don't lose the game. And if he does the same here, and everybody does their job correctly, I'm pretty much confident that we'll go through.
It'll be interesting to see how Bayern approach it, Marc, because I think the pressure will be on them. I think, look, they're intelligent enough, they're experienced enough, they've been there, they've done it, they're perennial Champions League final semi-finalists, you know, they constantly win the Bundesliga, the back top of the Bundesliga again after a bit of a wobble this season. But, you know, they'll go into this confident. There'll be both a pressure, I think, to go and get the game won, but also a confidence that they can go and get the game won. You know, if we'd maybe played them a few months ago when they were struggling a bit, I don't know whether they'd have had that, but they've just come off the bat to beat Wolfsburg 6-0 at the weekend. They've scored 12 in the last 3 games since they last played us. I think that could play in our favour to some extent. I want Liverpool to go. I want Bayern Munich to come and go toe-to-toe with us because I think we've got the skill, I think we've got the pace, that we can cause them problems on the counter if we have to.
100%. I think we should go from the first minute, just go for it. You know, I think they've got to fear us as much as we fear them. Yeah. You know, and there's absolutely no reason why we can't. You know, with our away form so far, as we know, it's not been fantastic. That's putting it mildly.
Say the least.
But you know, we've it's been in a league format. You know, they've got to come to Anfield and play, which we've been sound at Anfield. It's just the away games. This is now a knockout format, so you know, this game doesn't matter if it's Bayern's ground, doesn't matter if it's our ground, doesn't matter where it is. You know, as you say, we've got to go there and basically just not lose. Yeah,
that's it. And I think we should take encouragement from it, Amy, because why wouldn't we take encouragement from it? I mean, look, ultimately, our job as Liverpool fans is to see things from the Liverpool perspective. And look, I'm sure all the Bayern fans are going in absolutely buzzing for this as well because, as I say, they've been in pretty good form. They seem to have rectified their season a little bit as well. But I feel the same with us. I think if we'd maybe played this game a week ago, we probably wouldn't be quite as optimistic on the back of the Merseyside derby. But you know, we've got Sadio Mane in form, we've got Firmino in form, and as much as Salah's goal scoring hasn't quite been there, I think his all-round play's been very, very good. So yeah, you know, and look, getting to the Champions League final last season will stand us in good stead for this because this team will have a point to prove in this game.
No, that's true, and I think part of it is if you look at where we are right now, I mean, we're on form, but we still haven't hit full potential. Yeah. And look where we are. We haven't had a record or played like this in years. I've been supporting him for 20. I don't remember that happening.
No, it's true. Well, in terms of the league, this is our joint best ever start to a top flight season. So this is arguably the best Liverpool side there's ever been.
And it's our bench. It's not like in the past we've had, you know, a decent starting 11, but then who do we put on? We don't have to think about that. We have options. Yeah. And that's completely different than what we've had before. One
thing on that, actually, Shaqiri is an interesting one because I think he started the season absolutely brilliantly.
I wanted to bring that up.
I don't think he's had the same kind of form in 2019. But Bayern Munich, the club that his career was supposed to go into the stratosphere when he joined Bayern Munich, and it didn't quite happen. He's not really been playing. He's not been doing the business for Liverpool in recent weeks. I don't know whether I'll start him or not, and we'll talk about preferred 11s in a bit. But there's one player there who if he's going to reignite his season, Shaqiri, Bayern Munich, it almost feels like it could be written in the stars.
I'm curious. So he had a good start and then he kind of had a wobble. But is it something that's happening in training? I believe in Klopp. Whatever he's doing, there's a reason behind it. Yeah. You know, so him not playing, I'm not like, why isn't he playing? There's something going on. I'm just wondering what that is. What is it that's going on behind closed doors, behind the training, that he's not getting minutes?
No, it's exactly right.
I'm baffled by that.
I think we're right to talk about it. I think we're right to question it, but because there has to be something. If and if it is a motivational thing, because Klopp referenced Lallana, he said, well, Lallana's been brilliant in training, that's why he's playing. Yeah. If Shaqiri, if it is just a case of it's work rate in training, and if Shaqiri can't put it in this week with this game, with a chance to go back to the Allianz and stick 2 fingers up to to anyone who said, he's not good enough to play for Bayern, then I really don't know what he's got to do.
I wonder if, mainly up until this point, if it's been sort of a hangover from Stoke, where he could pretty much do what he wanted and get away with it. He was always going to be the main man. He was always going to be in the team all the time. And he's got into Liverpool, and he scored a few important goals for us, which has been great. Particularly the Man United game. game at Anfield, and then he's gone, everybody loves me now, that's fine, and he's relaxed a little bit, and then Klopp's, well, no, hold on a minute, that isn't how we do things here. That, if you want to succeed at a top club, then you can't be, and the same mentality of, well, I'm bulletproof, and therefore you're going to be dropped. And ever since, since the turn of the year, we've seen a lot less of him. Maybe he's just sort of giving him a reality check in the sense of, no, you need to work harder. Look at Adam Lallana, we talked about this on the final word. You're not doing things that he's doing after 18 months out, throwing yourself in front of the ball and creating goals. You need to be doing that on a consistent basis to get into the side on a consistent basis. I believe that we'll see Shaqiri a little bit more as we get in towards the end of the season, particularly if we stay in this competition and we've got to rotate a little bit more. But I think that might be part of it, at the moment.
It's interesting. The conversation's similar for Keita as well, Marc, because there's another lad. Bayern Munich at Anfield, he put in a terrific performance. He's another one, again, going back to Germany, again, a situation, a stadium that he'll be familiar with, having played there, against them for RB Leipzig. On paper, both of those lads should be in the team, but this, again, it's a big test for them this week to put themselves in front of Klopp and go, Jürgen, pick me, you've got no choice.
100%, and it's going back to what Amy Kate said about the quality and depth that we've got in the squad, and obviously we're going to come on to the starting 11 in a minute, but their teams, their players on any other side, they'd be starting, and yet we've got a problem here. How do we fit all these players in the midfield?
Well, it's like £60 million worth of £60+ million worth of players that we bought in the summer.
No, it's absolutely insane, and it's a position that you're going back 20 years of supporting Liverpool. It's been a long time since we've been in a position that depth. Right from the starting 11 right through the whole bench.
I completely agree with that. I mean, go back to 13-14 was the last, like you said, that we hold up as being a really, really competitive Liverpool side. The last time we were in a domestic title challenge as well. We were getting to this point of the season and we were bringing like Luis Alberto into the game. We were bringing Victor Moses in, we were bringing Iago Aspas, and funnily enough, they've all gone on to have really good careers since leaving Liverpool, so probably not so bad. But I think that for where they were in their careers, the lads that we've got in rotation now are far better. And one that's worth picking up on, Amy Kate, is Lallana. Really, really strong performance from the weekend. Most people's man of the match.
That's true.
There could be a temptation, fitness notwithstanding, to go again on him, because that was the fit. He really made our team tick at the weekend.
Well, it's interesting because before he got injured, he was that same player, and then he got injured. He kind of fell off. It was like you forget about him. He comes on, you're like, oh no, everybody's like, why is he in the starting lineup? But man of the match, he played brilliantly. He's showing again, this is the player I am. This is why I should be here. And if he can keep that up, why don't you consider him for the starting lineup?
Exactly, and I think it's been a bit unfair on him because his body's let him down. I don't think that's any fault of Adam Lallana. And when Klopp's been using him since then, he's played him on the wing. The time to use Adam Lallana on the wing is long gone. He wasn't fast enough, or doesn't have enough end product, and isn't fast enough, and wasn't when we signed him to play in those positions. He found his home in midfield under Klopp. And that was the first game at the weekend where we got to see him back in there, and I think it was like everyone. It was kind of like rediscovering Adam Lallana. It's like discovering forgetting you're watching a TV series that you really like. You go, oh God, I was really into this. And that was the thing, Marc. And I don't think he's going to be fit enough to play in this game, but there will be a lot. I think Klopp will want a Lallana-like performance, because I think again 4-3-3. I think we've looked a bit abject at times in that. We need someone to do a lot of the things that he was doing at the weekend, whether it's him or not.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to start him, to be honest. I think he's played his way in training. The performance he put in against Burnley, I don't see why not. And his confidence will be flying high. We've come off. I know we let it slip in the dying minutes, and they got one back, and then we put the game to bed. But the team's confidence will be flying high. Yeah,
completely agree on that. We'll talk a little bit more through preferred 11s in a moment. Before we do, Chris sat down with Lizzie Doyle, producer for the Anfield Wrap on the Newsroom podcast last week. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Here's a little clip.
For what it's worth, I don't think that decision gets given without VAR. I don't personally think it's a handball. But then equally, the one in the Porto game should have been given and wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I think they've got two decisions there last night. They've got one right, one wrong. I don't know if there's a bet that's better or worse than just a human ref.
I think worse, because we've seen a couple of times now where I think there's still a lot of confusion around VAR, and that VAR is an absolute definite and that it overrules a referee. No, it doesn't. It assists. It's a video assistant referee. The call is still on the ref. So if the referee is a shit referee, he's not going to be any less of a shit referee with video.
Great show.
So what's the point in sucking the enjoyment and the moments out of football when you've got a referee who probably wouldn't judge that decision properly anyway? That's my thoughts on it. The whole reason I love football, yeah, I like the ins and outs of it. I like talking tactics, but I like going the football for the 90+6 Origi.
Yeah.
I like going the football for Firmino against PSG, or I live for moments in football, and I think that's what sticks with you. And
It's the stories, it's the
yeah,
moments,
and,
it's all
and
that, yeah.
don't get me wrong, I was really conflicted with it last night because I'm so against it. I am against it. I don't want it. It takes away all the enjoyment.
Yeah, you can get the full Newsroom podcast in video form or in audio form on the redmentv.com, so sign up for that. We're going to talk preferred 11s, we're going to talk through the other stuff happening in the Champions League this week, but first, we've got the guys here from CopCon. Guys, when I saw this randomly on Facebook, and I was like, ooh, intriguing. For those who don't know, Top Line, a bunch of Liverpool fans getting together in Las Vegas at the end of the season. Sounds pretty good.
It does. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the inspiration behind this thing? Because it feels like we've chatted about it. One thing Americans do very well, it's big gatherings of passionate people about things.
Yeah.
From my own experiences of being over it, doing both coasts. Yeah, you guys do this big, and Las Vegas is very much the place, it seems, to do this kind of thing.
Really, I think this is something that people have talked about, different fans, different people. This is something that's been talked about for a long time. I've talked about this with several individuals, and never really, it was just more chat.
Yeah.
And the way the form of our season, things are going, and coming off of last season, and knowing that Celtic has done this for 25 years.
Really?
If Celtic can do this, Liverpool can do this. Yeah. So after talking to a few people, coming up to me and saying, hey, you put on events, you do these things. What do you think about doing this? And I've thought about it. And one of the other partners, Danny Greenwood, he's English, but lives in Canada, in Edmonton. He approached me very enthusiastic about it and said, look, we should do this. And I had been approached by a couple other people, and I went, all right, you've got my attention, let's do this. So we put the team together, and it's basically 3 books and an American bird putting it together. We've got people, so Danny Greenwood in Canada, brought on Marc Kenny from Liverpool, as he's entertainment, but also a partner. Also, Alex Malone, he's Scouse, but he lives in California, moving to Canada at the end of the year, and myself in California. And we started branching off, talking, having phone calls, chatting, meetings, whatever. And a few months go by, and got an agenda, and just started chatting things up and figuring it out, and we're here.
It's fascinating because it looks like, is it 3 day?
3 day event.
3 day event.
A 3 day event. So
that's on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that you can't stay in Vegas. Who doesn't want to go to Vegas?
Yeah.
So we've got stuff planned, but people can stay.
So spell that out as the plan lies so far. Liverpool fans descend upon Las Vegas when?
Yeah. Well, we start on the 30th of May, which is a Thursday. And the idea, I'll be hosting a pub night in McMullen's, which is the Las Vegas supporters group.
Yeah.
So, they've got a huge base of Liverpool supporters already there. So the idea is I host a pub night, sing some Liverpool songs. People come down, have a beer, meet fellow Red fans. Obviously,
Or several.
The network across North America is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, so all the fans interact and they all talk between the groups. So there's going to be people that, you know, they've not met before. They've met online or spoke to online, but not met. So that's the idea for the Thursday.
Yeah.
Then the Friday, we're in Las Vegas, pool party. You've got
As
to
you
do a
do,
pool
right?
party.
Yeah. So not something you can really do in and around Anfield so
No.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
You have a swimming baths party, but you tend to be 11 when you do them things like, but no. Pool party.
So that's a Friday. Obviously, you know, Las Vegas is going to be extremely hot. So, you know, that's going to be a great day. And then the Saturday morning, we're doing a meet and greet. We've got a few ex-players. Got Terry McDermott, David Johnson and Howard Gale. So we've got a few ex-players, a meet and greet. And then on the Saturday evening is going to be the main event, like the show. So we all go in, have a listen to what the guys, they tell us stories, and a Q&A as well.
And potentially as well, the Champions League final weekend as well. So
Yeah.
whether you know, obviously the thing about the Champions League final, if you can get a ticket, great, fantastic. But honestly, the more and more I look at it and think, right, yeah, you know, being in Madrid to see Liverpool win the European Cup is one thing, and then there's a big degree, being in the city of Liverpool, being in a massive party in Las Vegas surrounded by absolutely crazy Liverpool fans. There could be that, and if not, even if Liverpool don't make it, what a way to actually go and watch the Champions League, just a general Champions League final.
We've obviously
We'll do a viewing. We're talking about that, is arranging it so that we have, no matter if we're in or out, we're going to have a big viewing, a big party. You know,
It sounds, Ben, I mean, we've been having conversations around the office. Genuinely, like, who doesn't want to go to Las Vegas and have a party with loads of Liverpool fans?
Yeah, like we think our job's great. We get to come in and talk about Liverpool every day. We can imagine just going, I'm going to Vegas for the weekend to talk about Liverpool. That's great. That's the dream. That if you could paint me a picture of my last 3 days on Earth, it would be go to Vegas, talk about Liverpool, watch the Champions League final, the end.
And I think the good thing about it, one way, because we've done a few post-season things in the past, is that, look, if Liverpool win the league, that's going to be the biggest party on the face of planet Earth. If Liverpool make the Champions League final as well, it's going to be the biggest party on the face of planet Earth. And look, even if Liverpool, for whatever reason, fall short and what have you, one thing I know and one thing I've seen, because obviously I've been lucky enough, I've hung out with guys in LA, in New York, in Boston, in San Francisco. The Liverpool supporter base over there is next level, just absolutely fantastic,
crazy, yeah.
And
the passion out there,
exactly. And I think there's a bit of a bad rap that goes in. We get asked this question all the time about, like, people support Liverpool from not from Liverpool, and I say the word tourist, I think, gets used a bit too much, and I think it gets used to cover, but it gets used to cover people who travel to the city, and I think we need to redefine what that means, by the way, because for me, a tourist is someone you can be a tourist to the city of Liverpool, and you might think, I'll go and check out a football game because that's something to do. I did this. I went to New York and I went to watch the baseball. So, I like the Yankees versus the Mets.
Last year I went to watch the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. No real love for either of those sides. I just went to take in a bit. I was a tourist. I was the worst of people. But the people are there, and the people who go, their level of passion matches regardless of whether you come from a Liverpool postcode and you've got a purple bin or whatever. And that's what I think what's potentially great about this, and I think it's kind of what you're driving towards, isn't it? Is that getting together people who have this undying love for Liverpool, who are maybe just slightly unfortunate in that it's several thousand miles away from where you would actually choose to be, but that doesn't diminish your love for the football club.
It takes 2 days to get here as well.
I know, yeah. I literally arrived the morning that I arrived. I flew overnight. He picked me up, and we've been doing stuff with this the whole time. I mean, I have not stopped. I've hardly had any sleep. Don't care. I'm in my second home, and
it's good preparation for CopCon, then, isn't it? Really?
Right. I'm practicing because Vegas never just 24 hours a day.
I can't wait. I really hope we're able to make it over for that, and you should too. What's the website if people want to find out more?
CopCon.org.
Perfect. So yeah, you can get over there, find out more information, get tickets as well. Ticket pre-sale available right now.
Yes, we are selling tickets. If you do it now, there's a 20% off. So they're $96. And that's going to be going away soon. So get your tickets now.
Get involved with all that. And on Twitter, it is...
CopCon 2019, as well as on Instagram is the same, yeah.
Perfect. So get involved with all those. Find out more. You've got competitions running, as I say. Get your tickets booked. Get over there. To be perfectly honest, look, if you're already in America, you're halfway there. Just go and get it sorted. If you're more from this side of the pond and you're thinking, what am I going to do post-season? How do I unwind at the end of a very, very stressful Liverpool campaign? Yeah. Big party in Las Vegas. Yeah, sounds very good to me. Let's get back to the match then. Preferred 11s. Amy, Kate, what have you gone for?
So obviously Alisson in the back.
Yeah.
Got Robbo, Matip, Van Dijk, and Trent.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll all cross our fingers and
now
toes
if he's
Trent.
not, I'm going to put Milner back there.
Okay.
In the middle, that's kind of where I'm debating. Fabinho, Ginny. Part of me wants to give Lallana that chance. So you know what? I'm going to give Lallana that chance.
I
and
think
then
that's
top
the
three.
top three is what it is. That's the interesting conversation, really, isn't it? The midfield three. I guess we probably all things being equal, we've all got the back four as it stands.
The same,
Trend. So, Marc, what have you gone for? Have you gone midfield three?
I've gone exactly the same. As Amy Kate. The only issue is obviously you've got Milner. I mean, you'd a big game like this. I think you need Milner in the side.
It's mad, isn't it? Because
and that's what goes back to what we were saying. The depth that we've got in the squad. Yeah. When everybody's fit, it's absolutely frightening.
Well, this is the lads last season who set the record for assists in the Champions League season, and we kind of forget that because I think he gets lumped in a bit at times with this because he gets put in the midfield and it's often him, Henderson, and Wijnaldum, and it makes a few eyes roll and a few deep sighs when we see that midfield because, and look, to be fair, I don't think that midfield has particularly performed for us, especially in Europe. But Milner, if he's fit and if he is fit and he is available, he's having a fantastic season.
He should be one of the first on the team sheet. But as I say, trying to fit him in, the problem that we've got is we only need one goal. We're not going to unless we score.
Yeah.
But we do only need that one goal. So if we can keep the clean sheet like we have done, we worked out 21 times. We've had 21 clean sheets in all competitions this year. Yeah. So if we can keep a clean sheet, we only need one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that from three.
Yeah. Ben, what did you go with?
I went with the back five, and then I went with Fabinho, Gini, and Milner, and then the front three. I think Lallana, I can understand. I mean, I am more of a Lallana skeptic in general, and I can understand that the wanting to give Lallana the chance. I think two reasons for me. I think Klopp will know better than us about his fitness. You touched it on already. Can he do 2 games in a week? And then we've got Fulham at the weekend, which could be in contention for. So, do you just play him in the Fulham game? But also, it's one thing doing it against Burnley, but he's now in this game to come in for Bayern Munich. It's another step. It's a world class midfield. Yeah. And then suddenly, if he's putting in this game and he doesn't have the greatest of performances, again he's being slated. The confidence is knocked a bit, and the momentum's lost. Yeah. That's sort of my thinking around it. I think I'd much rather have the experience of the middle three. I was even tempted to put Henderson in, just purely because of the way they know this system. If they're going to play a 4-3-3, they've got the experience of doing that. Mm-hmm. Like you say, we only need one goal. We don't need to. We can bide our time in this game. Mm-hmm. We're not chasing it necessarily. Yeah. We don't need to go out and find that within the first 10 minutes. Yeah. I think we need the players who are used to this system, who are a bit more savvy and experienced in, and who's going to manage the game best. I think that's what we need to do.
I think conversations will depend upon Trent's fitness, of course, and whether he's fit and available, because there's a hierarchy that goes to Milner. If Milner's not available, it might become Henderson, and weirdly that makes your midfield conversation a bit easier to have, because I want Fabinho, for me, should start absolutely every game for Liverpool, and I think he should be capable of doing that. And then the issue we've got with our midfield is who is supporting the attack from our midfield three. And I've gone Fabinho, Henderson, Gini, but the problem is that you need bravery from Henderson and Gini in that game as well as the intelligence and the game savvy and what have you. I want Henderson playing like I know he can, like he did when he came off the bench at the weekend, getting up, supporting the attack, trying to get into their box. Because I think we fall flat when they don't, and I think he can revert to type, because look, he's been being trained to be our be all and end all, our number 6. I think that's hampered this game. I think when Henderson plays to the best of Henderson's abilities, I think he can be a real asset. So I understand. I've made that midfield three on the proviso that he plays every blade of grass, Jordan Henderson, as opposed to reserved one. But the alternative for me, I look at it and I think we're playing away from home. We want to control the game. We want to be tight. You maybe go 4-2-3-1. You stick Salah centre forward again, and you put Shaqiri back in this game. That gives him with that platform to prove himself. I could see that. The honest answer is I don't know. None of us knows, and that's maybe a good thing because it means hopefully Niko Kovac hasn't got a clue either. We've seen obviously City Schalke is Tuesday night. They take a 3-2 lead into that. Juve Atletico. Atletico got 2-0 in that, and then Barca Leon's on the same night as us, same as us, 0-0 in that one. Interesting stuff. I like the way that the Champions League's kind of panning out here. I'll be honest, I'm gutted that Real Madrid got knocked out because I really wanted to be the
some
ones.
revenge.
Yeah. I wanted to be the ones to get one over on Real, but there's a thing here where Marc, that you could see Juventus could go out here potentially. Yeah. I think City will go through. Barca probably will go through, but could go out. It's starting to shake. It's starting to fall quite nicely.
Yeah.
Getting through this one for us, I think it's not worth having too much of these conversations, but if you can get through Bayern Munich, I think we'll start to think we've got every chance of going.
Massively opens up, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the mentality we want to be in. I mean, Amy Kate, look, this time next week we could be in the quarterfinals of the Champions League and back top of the Premier League. That's this is where we want to be. This is where Liverpool should be, and so we should be enjoying every step of the way. Really.
I have to say though, you're gutted that Real's out. I don't want to see Ramos for a very long time. I'm very happy he's out. I'm done with him. Yeah. So for me, I was very pleased to see them. Yeah. Yes, I'd like to have that revenge, but it's just sweeter knowing that you couldn't make it this far.
Yeah, so, I mean, ultimately, if we go and win it, win the competition, we'll give a fuck who we pay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
I'm not worried about put anybody in front of us. We can do this. I have confidence.
Yeah.
There was nobody that I was worried about playing. I really didn't want to play Real yet because I wanted, if it's going to go down that way, revenge. But them being out, I'm not worried. I don't have to see Ramos again.
Does your confidence carry through into your score prediction for this game?
I guess no, but I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be 2-1.
Okay, cool. Marc?
I've gone 2-0. I think we're going to get an early one. And I think we're going to invite them on. I think we might hit them on the break.
Okay. Ben?
I think we're going to draw 2-2.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And go through.
I think we'll either absolutely batter them on the counter-attack and, a nice good score. But then again, I kind of said that at Anfield and it didn't bear out in any way, shape or form. So I will go with 1-1. I think they'll take the lead and I think we'll get the one goal that we need. And it will be a last-ditch Virgil van Dijk banging headers out for the last 10 minutes of the game. Yeah, they're throwing stuff into the box, looking for that game, and we'll all... Because again, Liverpool will do it in the hardest possible way, shave weeks off the end of our lives.
That's pretty much the way we do it, so your prediction's pretty spot on.
So
it's going to be a tight game anyway, but...
Expect the stress and then be pleasantly relieved when Liverpool absolutely turn on the style. Leave us your score predictions in the comments below and your preferred 11s, and as I say, get over CopCon.org, get you the best Liverpool holiday, the best holiday to be perfectly honest you're probably ever going to have in your entire life. Guys, thank you very much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank Ben.
You.
If you want more Liverpool content, of course, get over to the redmentv.com. You can get that newsroom podcast and a whole host of other things as well. Brilliant stuff going on there. Keep yourself happy and healthy in one of the most stressful seasons in living memory as a Liverpool fan, which also could end up being the most brilliant as well. Thank you very much. See you all soon.